Hey! Hi, everybody. I like that countdown music. I'm like jamming behind the scenes while it's playing. But anyway, welcome. It is Thursday. Can you believe it? When I say time is flying, time is flying. Like we just started August and it's already the 7th. Wow. So, anyway, welcome to my live. Tell us where you're from in the chat. Don't forget to do that. And it is Travel Thoughts Thursday. You see how slow I said that? Because that's a tongue twister right there. Travel Thoughts Thursday. Another one of my favorite topics is talking about traveling. I love to travel. And as usual, I jot down some notes so I can stay on point. Although, every once in a while I'm going to go squirrel. Anyway, I am back in my own location. Woo! I am so happy to be back. Not that I don't like visiting. Again, we're talking about traveling. But sometimes you just need your own space back again. You just need your home place to recharge, right? I turned off all social media this morning. And it was nice. I'm going to do that more often. You don't even realize how much just little simple updates on your email notifications and all that other stuff gets to you after a while, right? So because I have been so busy, I have to replenish. I told you all I'm an introvert. I am an introvert, so I need to recharge. And that's what I'm going to do for the next few days, even though I have family coming into town and we have a celebration. I'm going to take whatever minutes I can of quiet time to recharge. Hey, there's Dennis. Hey, Dennis, welcome to the live stream. You'll have to jump off in the back a bit. What? You're getting an e-bike? That's one mode of transportation, right? Oh, wow. Ooh, an e-bike. I've looked at those loosely, but I haven't gotten into them as much as I would like to. I'm trying to just start riding my regular bike. But you know how that is. Anyway, y'all, yesterday I sweated all day. Of course, I was out in the heat when we were walking around and chatting. But then I went to my storage unit and the air conditioning system was broken there. It was hot. And here I am climbing over things, trying to get things to bring back with me. And then I forgot I had a salsa lesson to help teach. So, yeah, I was hot and sweaty all day. So I'm trying to replenish and get my electrolytes back up and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's start talking about. I had a text I have to answer. Anyway, start talking about traveling. So, question for you guys. When it comes to traveling, what is your favorite mode of transportation? I'm going to put that up real quick. What is your favorite way to travel? So some people know me as have wheels will roll, and I will jump in my car and go somewhere in a minute. Just like a lot of people didn't know I was gone the last couple of days, and they're like, "Oh, you want to go do something?" I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of not in the city. I'm somewhere else." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So that's probably one of my favorites in a way. And it depends on where I'm going. Um, I figure driving is the most inexpensive way for me to get to different destinations. It also, and again, this is that mindset, it's just blowing my mind how much all these topics interrelate again. But it's my mindset. I'm so used to before um, jumping in my car, going to point A, ending up at point B, and that's it. Now I have to remember that I can leisurely drive to a destination if I plan it correctly. So, what I mean by that, if I see something that interests me, I can stop. I can actually stop and go check that out if I plan it accordingly. Because usually, if I'm driving to a destination, um, I am intentionally driving there, but or driving for a reason. But if I plan it right, I can stop along the way if I want to, right? So, destinations. We can talk about different destinations and ways to travel. Dennis says he likes to drive. So, yeah, I get that, Dennis. Driving gives you a little bit more control. Um, there's certain places I will not drive to, and one place is New York City. I have done it once. That's all I needed to do. Oh my goodness. That number one to me, that I don't know why anyone owns a car in New York. New York is such a walking city, and that's the part I actually enjoy about New York is that fact that it is a walking city. So to fly to New York, and then after you're there, you just walk or get a subway or get a bus. Their modes of transportation in the city, phenomenal. You can get anywhere inexpensively and don't have to have a car. Now, I can see if you're living outside of Manhattan or the boroughs and you want a car, but I don't. Ooh, I had a friend, or I have a friend that lives in New York, and he has a car. He only drives his what he calls his hoopty in the city because the way they drive in the city is so dangerous, and they ding your car and they bump into your car, and you might end up in an accident somewhere. So yeah, I don't see anyone wanting to drive in New York. So yeah, flying to New York is a definite. Flying to New York is a definite. So when we're talking about traveling today, I'm talking about nationally, internationally, and regionally, because travel is travel. Just finding a new destination is still a way of traveling, right? So whether you're hitting the road in a car, flying across the country, or even heading overseas, there I'll share some of my favorite ways to get around and some of the best places I've visited and a few travel tips I picked up along the way. So if you have some extra, hey Amy, how you doing? If you have some little tips of travel, and if you're one of those world travelers, like several of my friends are, they've surpassed me, and I've traveled. Drop those tips down in the chat. And y'all have to excuse my voice today. It's very scratchy. Um, where I live right now, it's kind of humid, even in the house, and so my voice gets kind of irritated at night. And last night was one of those nights that I didn't start coughing, but it was just like, so it's a little scratchy this morning. Anyway, so let me tell you a little bit about how I've traveled. So let's give you some history behind that. And I think we talked about it a little bit in one of the other sessions. When I was younger, my dad loved to travel. He loved going on vacations. My mom, not so much. And she would often win that discussion. But the few times that we did go on vacation, I just fell in love with being on vacation. I loved being in hotels. I loved seeing places outside of where I was accustomed to. I love watching people. Still am a people watcher. Still, excuse me, am a people watcher. So fast forward, in my married life, my husband had lived in several different cities. So he was used to moving around a lot. Um, I always had dreams of going to different places. I was an avid reader, and I knew there were areas that I wanted to see. Like I hate using the term bucket list, but I don't know another phrase right now to use. But I had bucket list destinations. And again, back then, my mindset was you went to those places one time in your life, and that was it. Fast forward to now, I know that's not true. You can go to different places whenever, wherever, and however many times you want. Um, I have been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I lost count on how many countries. And still, I don't consider myself a world traveler. One year, 2023, I traveled to 6 different countries just within that year. And then, of course, I have done a lot of Caribbean countries because I have done a lot of cruising. Um, I have hit, from my salsa perspective, I have hit several um, places or destinations I wanted to go to because of the origins of the dance in that place. So, yeah, I have traveled. I know a little bit about traveling, but I have friends. Wow. Wow. When I grow up, I want to be just like them, if you know what I mean. And I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Let's see what Rockin' Keto Amy has. Oh, I have an interesting thing. Amy, I'm going to pull your statement up here. Let everybody see it. I have an interesting thing. I recently went on a choir trip, and a carnivore friend of mine actually packed a whole suitcase of cooked meat and froze it and checked the bag and had food. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I have 2 friends kind of like that. They're not carnivore, but that's how they travel. That's how they travel. Oh my goodness. We can all travel together, couldn't we? Because that's the other thing. When you travel with people that eat like you, that really helps. That really helps. You don't feel so weird. Let's see. I think so. Oh, whole week. I'm sure you could do this with any type of food. I thought it was genius. You could also pack a couple of freezer packs to help keep it cold. Yeah. So that was my dilemma, Amy, when I went to San Francisco a couple of weeks ago. I had my meat sticks, like the what do you call the ones that are like a meat roll. Meat sticks. I can't think of another name for it. And they're different brands. I had those. They were perfect for the airport. I had those when I couldn't find anything else that I really wanted to eat, or it was too late and I didn't want to walk anywhere while I was there, and I ate those. But what I found was they didn't have enough fat for me. And I have increased my fat lately, and it's made a big difference in my life. Um, so that was the hard part. I am looking into, I always want to call them Promethean, pemmican bars. And I just ordered my first carnivore bar and I haven't tried it yet. But if that's the case, I know they're expensive, but it'll be perfect for when I'm flying somewhere and can't pack up. Like if I'm in my car, not a problem. I have my little cooler. In fact, I have two. I have my ice packs and I have my food. I have all the things, right? I even have my little cooker. I have like a little rice cooker that I use that I put in my battery because I car camp as well. So I have all the things where I can warm up some food or cook some food if I want to. And I can have anything I want. I like that part. That's the best part about traveling in the car. But it's the plane flights that I'm still working on. Let's see here. Hey, Bacon Baby, how are you? Thanks for joining our chat. We're talking about traveling. Oh, and I see Catrice here. Y'all, this is one of my friends that stay out in those international streets, y'all. She's the world traveler. She's one of them. I've got a couple of other ones too, but I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm telling on you, Catrice. I'm telling on you. Let's see who else is in there. Oh, let's see. Rockin' Keto Amy says, I love cruises. Yeah, I do too, Amy. And I'm trying to figure out, and I know Joe and Rachel said the other day that for one of their cruises, we have until the 10th to decide on. And I'm really trying to decide if I'm going to hop on that cruise ship with them. That would be cool to travel with that many people that follow and live under the keto lifestyle. I think that would be fun. Plus, they look like they're fun people anyway. So I'm thinking I may be doing that. So there's Catrice saying hi to everyone. And Bacon Baby saying hi to everyone. Oh, let's see. Rockin' Keto Amy says, they also taught me something else. Take a turbot of ice, no water, and drink all the melted water before you go through security. Yes, my friend that has been on every continent except for one, yeah, she does that, and I've traveled with her. Now, it made me nervous. The ice will pass through security as long as it's solid. Yes, it will. Again, I'm nervous about that. She did it though, and it worked, and I've heard of other people doing it. Because I love ice in my water. I love ice in my water, but I haven't been brave enough to try it yet. Now I do. Here's another tip. I am pre-check. I'm definitely pre-check. So y'all, if y'all have never signed up for our TSA pre-check, do it. Life is lovely on the pre-check side. Lovely. And there's Tiffany. What's up? Hey, Tiff, how are you doing today? We're talking about traveling. So drop some tips down below and talk about one of your trips. I know you've been international. So share that with our chat today. Rockin' Keto Amy says it melts. You can drink it on the plane. Right. And then you can have your filtered water that you really want. Although I have to admit, airports have gotten better about having those filtered water stations. So what I did when I flew a couple of weeks ago, I had this, and I think I'm going to buy more of a travel one because this is like my good one. And every time it would bump against something and ding, I'm like, oh, no, not my good one. Not my good water jug. I think I'm going to buy one just for traveling. I had it emptied, but I just took it with me. And then when I got on the other side of TSA, I filled it up at one of those water filling stations. So I had my water. I just didn't have my ice. Oh, and everyone is saying hi to each other in the chat. Let's see what Catrice says. One of Terry's meat sticks saved me one day. Exactly. I'm telling you, when you're in a city, and I mean, San Francisco is a walking city, but it was late at night, if I remember correctly. And I had my meat sticks and I said, pick one. And Catrice, like, I'll take that one right there. So, yeah, having that kind of stuff and traveling with that kind of stuff really helps in a pinch. So, yeah, always take something with you. That's travel tip number one, I guess, is what I want to say. Let's see. Dennis says going on a cruise is on my living life list. I like that, Dennis, instead of, because I cannot stand the term bucket list. And those who know me know why. But living life list. I'm stealing that from you. I'm just letting you know right now. LLL, my living life list. I love it. Yes, you will enjoy a cruise. Well, I'll put it this way. I know I enjoy cruise life. I've been on 5-day cruise. My first one was a 7-day cruise. I'm ready. And actually, I'm down for like a 12-day cruise. And what I'm understanding is going on, and when I think back, going on a cruise and eating the way I do, it'll be so much easier. They already got. Oh, I'm back. I don't. Yeah, something happened. Let's see here. Bacon Baby. I went on a cruise a few years back and it was wonderful. From Greece, Croatia, Montenegro, and Sicily, Capri. Amazing. Bacon Baby, you are right. That gorgeous. Like breathtaking. I've done Italy and Greece, but I have on my life living list Croatia and all the rest of them you're talking. Every everywhere I turn, I don't know. I think my internet is doing something weird. I don't know if it's glitching on your side, but it is over here. Everywhere I turned in Europe, I teared up because it was so gorgeous, and I would just go, God, I wasn't ready. Why didn't you prepare me? Because it would be like you're walking down these cobblestone streets, and then you would turn, and then the world would just open up, and there was water and rocks. And I have a beautiful picture of a sunset. Again, I'm going to start putting those kind of things on my Instagram page. I just started, so I've just got to load it. Just give me a moment, y'all. Be patient with me. But I'm so glad y'all are here today to talk about traveling with me and sharing your experiences. That's what it's about. Oh, Catrice, let's listen to her here. Travel tip: book the flight and go. It's really that simple. Sometimes, and I don't know if y'all have friends like this, but I have some friends that, oh, we ought to do this. Oh, we ought to do that. Oh, we ought to do this. And I have become one of those, okay, we're going to do it. Let's do it. And every once in a while, I'm one of those friends that are like, okay, let me think it through. And it's usually because I've got to figure out my schedule and finances, right? But what Catrice said, it truly is that: book the flight and then you go. She and I went, she was the person I went to San Francisco with not too long ago. She lives somewhere else. She had her flight booked. She told me the dates. I booked my flight. Guess what? We met up in San Francisco. We had a blast. And you know what I find funny too, y'all? People will go, oh, why are you going to San Francisco? My question to you is, why are you not? I'm learning that you don't have to have a real reason except for you want to go. So I can say now I've experienced going across the Golden Gate Bridge. Couldn't see much of it, but That's a whole nother story. That fog is crazy out there, y'all. But I had a blast just being there in an iconic city that I've always wanted to see. Why not? Why not? Let's see. Yeah. Here's another point. You are so right. Rockin' Keto Amy. Never order food at the airport restaurant. You will be overcharged and disappointed. That overcharge is for real. Now, again, here because I usually fly out of the Nashville airport. Nashville airport has some good restaurants, but there are also some of the local restaurants that I know what their real prices are. So to see their airport prices, I'm like, really? It would have been better if I just gone to your original restaurant down the street around the corner, picked up the food, and just packed it in my purse. So you are extremely correct on those prices. Crazy. And I know why. They have to, number one, you're isolated there, so they can charge what they want. Number two, I think they might have fees that they have to pay to the airport just for being able to be in that location. So, yeah. But Nashville Airport, I got to give my kudos to Nashville Airport. One of my favorite airports. And I've been in a few, but when I say friendly, I don't think I've ever had an unfriendly situation since I've been flying out of Nashville. Friendly, confusing because they're still building. And 1 week, for example, 1 week I went in this way and turned right. The next week, almost the next week, maybe 2 weeks later, I went in and turned left to get to the same place. But it's coming along. It was beautiful when I went through there the other day, and it's growing. And I'm so proud of my little Nashville airport. But yeah, they do have good food in that one, but they are expensive. Let's go back to the chat here. Bacon, baby. I wish I had been eating carnivore style back then. I was so bloated the whole time. I know. But hey, we didn't know, right? We didn't know. Y'all, some of my folks on here are carnivores, so you're going to hear us talk about the food sometimes, right? I know that was the hardest part in Europe for me because I was so newly carnivore-ish that I was a little miserable. But then I had to remember that in Europe, they have a little bit better guidelines on their food standards than we do. So I went on and gave in on some of the things, and it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad. When we got to an Airbnb, though, in La Spezia, Italy, there was a little shop around the corner, and I love how the stores are in Europe. Little shop, and it was a butcher department. I said, I want that right there. I got me a ribeye and went back to that Airbnb and got really satiated. I was good to go for another couple of days. Yes, it freezes up occasionally. Okay, thanks, Dennis. I thought so because on my end it looked like it was freezing up, but I wasn't sure. So, some of the things that are some of the places I've been to, y'all. Some of the places I've been to. So, like I said, in 2023, I had already been to a lot of the Caribbean places like Puerto Rico. Whew, I can't say my Spanish words today. Which I know is still part of the U.S., but it had always been a destination for me. In fact, I was going there every year for a while. Again, I dance salsa, so they have a International Day of Salsa there. So I was going annually. The last time that I've been to Puerto Rico was 2020, March. And the plane looked like we had a private flight, and y'all know why. But anyway, I love that place. Like, I think I could actually live there. Even though I know it's still part of the United States, that would be a place I think I could live there, at least part of the time. Part of the time. I have been to Jamaica. I want to go back to Jamaica. I've only been to one place, and that is Ocho Rios. But I would like to do Ocho Rios again because we did Dunn Rivers Falls as an excursion and had to climb it, and I was so out of shape. I would love to do it again now that I am in shape because I think I would have even more fun. I think I would have even more fun. I have been to Mexico, but it was a cruise and we didn't see much of it, just a little hit and miss of a touristy area. So I can't really say I've been, but didn't get to enjoy it. But I'm going back in a couple of months and I can't wait. Whole different experience this time, right? Um, I've been to France. I went to Bordeaux, France. Funny thing, we were supposed to go to Paris, and it was a group of us. And I was traveling with my dear friends that dance with me, salsa group, because we like to travel too. And so many salsa dancers are international anyway, as far as ethnicity and where their families are from. So it's so perfect. And our mindset in dance is so free spirit anyway, right? So once we got to Europe, some of us broke off in groups. And to this day, I'm still a little jelly of a couple of people that went ahead of us to Paris, was walking down the street, heard salsa music, and found the whole salsa scene in Paris. Yeah, a little jelly about that. That's all right. We went to Bordeaux. We were supposed to go to Paris. But what happened is they started a rumor because they were, from what I understand, they didn't want any more Americans coming in at that time. So they said there was a big bed bug scare. So a lot of us diverted and went to other places. So we ended up in Bordeaux, and it was lovely. I love that. It was very calm. I got to regroup. It was just peaceful. And their mode of transportation, their trams and trains, I wouldn't have a car there either. I wouldn't have a car there. Their lifestyle is just so calming there. I loved it. I would like to go back and tour the wine country part of it, but that was amazing. So I've been to France. I've been to Barcelona, Spain. Love Barcelona. To me, from what I'm hearing from different friends, you either love Barcelona or you don't. Well, I love Barcelona. Love Barcelona. Um, did Greece. In fact, I got to celebrate my birthday in Greece. I love that. And got to go to Santorini and, all the blue and white buildings. Gorgeous. 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 Where else did I go in Europe? Oh, Italy. I forgot. We landed in Madrid. No, not Madrid, Milan. Now, Milan is okay. It's okay. It's just another big city. And that's the thing. Once you've gone to one big city, they kind of have the same flavor, right? Venice was nice because it was so unique. The water taxis, the waterway, it was interesting. What was that one city though that was like, if I don't ever go back, I'm good. I'll think of it in a minute, but it's in Italy. Um, but still, I enjoyed the whole experience. Enjoyed the whole experience. La Spezia, I love La Spezia because we started trying to find little cities that were not as popular. So I spent a few days in Cinque Terre, that area of Italy. Beautiful, beautiful. I had never heard of Cinque Terre before I went. So yeah, but my goal is to get to Sicily. I don't know why. I feel like I have a connection in Sicily somehow. That would be cool. Let's see. Let's go back to the chat real quick. Oh, cool. Rockin' Keto Amy says, I did Dunn River Falls on our honeymoon. No, thank you. We watched someone get airlifted out who fell and broke their hip. What? I think that was a one and done for me. Oh, Well, I did it, and again, I was not nearly as in shape as I am now. So that is it's more like a challenge for me. I guess I'm a little bit of a thrill seeker, just a little bit. So I love waterfalls. I chase waterfalls. Um, yeah, I wouldn't mind trying it one more time. One more time. Because I didn't know what to expect then. And like I said, I had a blast then, but one more time, Amy. One more time. Let's see here. Oh, Dennis says in college, a performing group went to Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I fell in love with Lucerne, Switzerland. We had planned to do Switzerland and wanted to do Austria. Again, life goals again. Um, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there because I hear it's beautiful. We just ran out of time. I mean, I spent a month in Europe and I just had to come back home. I ran out of time. I ran out of time. Plus, that same year, we all decided, well, we've done Europe. Let's go to Cuba. And we did. Like a month later, we went to Cuba. So that was fun. Like I said, I traveled 6 countries that year. Oh, I forgot to tell you because I started in the Dominican Republic like 4 months before. So yeah, that was a busy traveling month or year as far as international travel for me. Let's see here. Oh, my great grandparents were from Placenza. Oh, okay. One of my friends went there. I think that's where she had her conference because one of the ladies I was traveling with had a conference um, while we were in Italy. So she broke off one way. Some more of us broke off another. Like I said, it was, and that was cool because for me, kind of as a solo traveler per se, it's nice to know that you have other friends and friends' families in the area when you're so far away from home. And I know it helps with my kids. They don't have to worry about me as much because they will worry. I know. But mom's okay. But yeah, that's cool. Excuse me. Which is near Milan. Okay. Yeah, I learned more about Italy traveling there than I did in school for sure. And things just make more sense when you travel, y'all. My son, so all of my kids are travelers, okay? They may not get to travel as much as they want to, but I made sure, unlike my mom, I made sure they had life experiences out in the world. I think that's one problem that we have here in America. We don't expose our kids enough to the world. It's dangerous, yes, but so is your local area. All right. A lot of times it's propaganda that we hear and not truth. So to go out in the world and explore it for yourself, you get to grow those dendrites. Remember those dendrites we talked about on Mindset Monday? You grow those dendrites and you learn that people are people everywhere. And to me, you find out more of what other places are about when you get to travel. So, with that, um let's put this one. I made sure. So my youngest son is the most traveled out of all of us. He was awarded an opportunity to be a student ambassador at the age of 11. Yeah, because he turned 12 in Scotland. Yeah, so he got to be a student ambassador and got to travel the British Isles at that age. Okay. I was so nervous, but I was determined to overcome that fear of sending my child out into the world. It was a safe space. It was It was all the things. He had a blast. But when I say, to me, I think I planted the seed of him traveling. He's been a lot of places. It's funny. My grandson was asking the other day, Bella, how many states have you been to? Because right now he's into what the states are, and learning geography and stuff. So we counted, and I think he's up to 10 states. I think he's up to 10 states. But I was telling him I only have, as far as being stateside, I only have maybe 10 or 12 to finish. And it's mostly up in that, and I'm pretending like y'all are the map, it's up in that northwestern section of the country. Oh, and Maine. Been all down the East Coast and in the South and a lot of the central area. But Maine, I forgot to get while I was on the east side. So my life goal is to make sure I finish all of that. That way I can say I've traveled 50 states. I think my youngest only has 5 more states to go. His profession does help with what he does, because a lot of times he's on a traveling tour performer. So he gets to go to a lot of places that way too. But he's also been to, one of the ones that I got excited about for him was his last cruise tour. And he videoed for the family a picture of him cruising between, it was so amazing to me, 2 continents. And I was like, that is breathtaking. It doesn't take much to entertain me, y'all. So on one side, he was like, he panned out. He said, that's Africa. He panned over. He said, that's Europe. And you could tell the boat was going in between. He goes, that's Africa. That's Europe. That's Africa. He just kept going back and forth. I'm like, wow, to see it from that perspective. So yeah, I think that's cool. I think that's so cool. My daughter has been to Europe. She has toured France. She did that while she was in college and learned a lot. She was blessed to be able to be in one of the French newspapers. She also got to meet a Holocaust survivor, and they got to interview him and see all the things, which, I mean, these are things that you can read about, but oh my goodness, why not experience them? Like I said, I wanted my kids to grow up knowing they could do that. They could do that. My oldest son has done, I know he's done Mexico, he's done Greece, and he's done, not the Philippines. He did Thailand. So that's on my list too. Thailand. I have not done an Asian country yet, and I would love to do that. That's on my list. So yeah, that's how I try to make sure my kids grew up knowing there's a whole world out here, just like Aladdin. It's a whole new world. And it's meant to be seen. God made it all. So why not? So I talked to a gentleman. This is a little sidebar conversation here. I talked to an older gentleman not too long ago, and he was like, well, Miss Terry, because everything's Miss Terry up here. Miss Terry, I mean, we got beautiful places up here. And I'm like, you know what? You are so correct. I mean, this area in East Tennessee, gorgeous. I'm not taking anything from it. But like I told him, I said, but God made the whole world, and he made it for me to see. So I don't have to stay in one place. I can go everywhere and anywhere I want to. So yeah, let's see here. Bacon Baby says, I loved Siena and Florence. I know, I wouldn't mind going to Florence, Tuscany, and Verona. Live opera is amazing. Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool, Bacon Baby. To see a live opera. Now, I've seen it here in the States, but to see it there, where the birthplace, you know what Thank you for increasing my list. To me, that's what this chat is about. Let's talk about where we've been, what we've experienced. The world is our oyster, y'all. And it's time to find our pearls, right? Like Dennis says, that sounds amazing. Let's see. So, when you can, let's see, let's drop in the chat. I think we've talked about what's the best place you've been to so far. Did we talk about what's your favorite way? I think so, because I know we talked about cruising, and we talked about, did anybody say they like to fly? I like to fly if I'm going far away, like California. I would like to drive to California. That would take some serious planning on my part. Um, but for the time frame that I went, it was fun flying into San Francisco a couple of weeks ago. So I like flying. When I drive, I want to always be able to have that moment where I don't have to stay on course. You know what I mean? To me, it's more fun if you can kind of be willy-nilly in your travel. Maybe not have everything planned. That's what I'm thinking. So, a trip that I have coming up soon, and the destination I'm going to, I don't have to do the touristy things. In fact, I actually like not doing the touristy things. I mean, I don't mind. Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't mind seeing the iconic things. Like I saw the Golden Gate Bridge, but it was cool just not doing anything and hanging out with the people. And I met some of the locals and talking with them and finding out what San Francisco was known for, and experiencing that. Another example is when I went to Puerto Rico. A friend of mine is Puerto Rican, so she lived there. She didn't live there, but her family was still there. Got to celebrate Christmas and New Year's with their family and doing their traditions. And that to me is the best. Why I loved La Spezia, because we stayed at an Airbnb that was in the neighborhood. So at night, if we weren't out walking around the city, I would sit in my room and just listen to the sounds of the city and hearing the families go by, and in the mornings wake up with the church bell ringing. And it was all of what their life was about on a daily basis that may be different than mine. I love that. I love that. Even when I was in Cuba, met some friends of mine, family members, and they would say, oh, this is what you need to check out. This is what you need to watch for. I love that. I want to feel the real vibe of where I'm going. And one tip I'm going to give everybody, one more tip. When you travel, please do not act like a typical American. I'm going to say it one more time. Please do not act like a typical American who feels entitled to everything. I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to let you figure that out. Yeah, you got to go with the flow, y'all. You got to remember you're in somebody else's country. You got to remember that that there are other habits in other countries, or other, what's the word I'm looking for? Idiosyncrasies that other countries may do that we're not accustomed to. Find out what they are before you go. That way you don't look like as much of an outcast. One thing I loved when I was in Bordeaux, we were on the train. They were so respectful of their elders. Like, it was just, no words had to be said. when someone older got on the train, someone automatically got up and let that elder have that seat. We need to be more like that. And not because I'm getting older, because I chose to stand. I'm like, I'm young and able. What? But just that respect factor. It was like no question. No one had to ask anyone. They literally would just, someone would just, or a couple of people would get up and go, and then the elderly person would go and sit in that spot. No questions asked. I thought that was so respectful. I thought that was so respectful. It made me rethink things like, hey, I'm an able bodied person. If I see someone older and maybe not as able bodied, just offer your seat. Offer your seat. But yeah, I think we can learn when we travel of different cultures and do a takeaway of the positiveness that you see sometimes outside these American streets. So again, tell me your favorite way to travel. Tell me your favorite mode of transportation. And y'all, I can't believe again, we've been chatting this long. It's been a good conversation. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm gonna check my notes real quick. Oh, some little tidbits. I don't want to forget to say that. Some more little tidbits. So what I have learned, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm done. We talked about one of them. Always have snacks and water handy, whether you're driving or flying. Again, depending on the way you eat, it's easier one way than the other. But always have hydration and food, because you never know when you might have an extra layover or something happens. That's just life, right? Leave room for spontaneity. That's the big word I couldn't think of. Don't be so rigid and I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. It has to be this time frame. But a lot of times people will ask me if I'm traveling with a group, well, what do you want to do? I just want to go on the trip. Sometimes I might have like one little thing I want to see, but for the most part, I just want to experience the experience. I am all about experiencing the experience. So I don't have to do anything. And with being spontaneous, I get to do a lot. I'm going to let y'all think about that too. Here's another one. I forgot about that. Learn. That's why I take down notes. Learn a few local phrases. Like I'm always practicing my Spanish. And thank goodness Spanish and Italian is similar. So I was actually able to read a lot of things in Italy because I can read Spanish better than I can speak it. So that was cool. French, I had to leave that to my daughter. She's the one that speaks French. But it was still a learning experience. Funny note, I was because we had traveled so many countries in so many days, we were in a store because we were staying in an Airbnb, and the lady at the register said something, and I went, we. Then I'm like, no, see. No, I mean, yes. I mean, what country am I in? Because I couldn't remember which language to use, and she just rolled. In fact, the people in the grocery line just cracked up laughing. Of course, in Europe, they know multiple languages, so, and it's not like people don't know what we see. And yes, all right, but it was just funny that it was like, oh, which way should I think? Which way should I think? What word should I use? So yeah, learn a few of the local phrases when you're traveling. It really does help. Plus, it's just a courtesy. It's just a courtesy. Bring a portable charger. I don't know why I left my charger at home. I ended up having to buy one at the airport when I flew out the other week, and it's still sitting right over there. It was kind of weak. It was not nearly as nice as the one I had at home, but I think that might be the one I just keep in my little bag, because I wear a little sling bag a lot of times when I travel. That way I have a charger, because my phone keeps wanting me to purchase an upgrade, and I'm like, nope. So the battery goes down a lot. But you want to make sure you have a charger for your phone. your camera if you have a camera, your laptop if you take your laptop, and your iPad if you take that, or your tablet. I have decided, and what I have done is I've bought multiple cords. That way I never have to say, oh, I left my cord at home. I have one in the bag I always take, and I'm pointing to the bag because it's sitting next to me because I had it packed up for for that weekend trip. But I have an extra watch cord, phone cord, tablet cord in it, so I don't have to remove the one from home. I have an extra one in my car. I bring all the things and get multiples of it. That way you don't have to go and switch and forget, right? And the last tip I have, pack light. I'm going to say it one more time. Pack light. I learned to pack light a while back in a situation where I'm not going to bring up the whole situation, but because I was in and out of the airport so much, and I'm like, I'm not going to carry all this stuff around or wheel it around. We only wear maybe 10% of what we take. Because even in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago, I had looked up the weather, because you always need to look up the weather, your destination, and what the typical weather is. Not that it won't change, but that way you can kind of know what to pack. So I overpacked, which I'm not used to doing. But even with my overpacking, it still went on in one carry-on bag. But I was told to take the long pants and the long sleeve summer type outfits, which I'm glad. That's what I mostly wore. Because when I say it felt like February in Tennessee, in July in San Francisco, it did. So the thing, I also brought like shorts and t-shirts. What I was wearing here in the Tennessee area, because it was hot. It was 90 something degrees, right? So I had a few of those, but I made sure I had enough of the other. I ended up wearing more of the long sleeve and the long pants. And I was like, man, I didn't even have to bring anything short. But I did, just in case. But trust me, I took a lot of that stuff out that I originally had planned and kept it here. I will be on my next destination. I will be packing even lighter because number one, it's a warm climate. It really helps when it's a warm climate. It really helps. You always have to overpack a little bit when you're going to a destination that's colder. But yeah, because it's a warmer climate, so easy for me. I always take a jacket because you can be in air conditioning or you can be in some situation where you need a jacket. So I do take a hoodie or a jacket, but I pack like if it can't fit in one bag. Europe, I think I had 2 bags. And I still pack lighter than the rest. But I'm not about carrying all them bags or rolling all those bags around having to watch them. Because a lot of times I just do carry on. I don't check my bag. Especially now that you have to be, they charge you so much to check a bag. I'm frugal. I'm not going to say cheap. I'm frugal, y'all. So yeah, pack light. We don't need all those clothes. Where are you going? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you can wear over and over. People don't know you at your destination, not unless you're going to see family or something. But even with that, why are you going to change clothes that often? You're supposed to be enjoying the experience, right? So anyway, thank you guys, though, for another awesome conversation about travel and travel thoughts. I love the fact that so many people have been so many destinations around the world. And we'll talk more about different destinations. I think what I'm going to do, and I think I mentioned it the other day, I'm going to get a map so we can start pinpointing things like that. Croatia, like I want to hear about Croatia. Bacon Baby said she went to Croatia. I want to hear more about it. So maybe we'll fine tune and talk about different locations a little bit more intrinsically in our next conversation. But until then, again, please like, share, and subscribe. Y'all, I'm about to get off of social media again for a minute. It was so nice and peaceful and quiet. Not to hear my phone ding or my iPad ding or anything else ding. But anyway, yeah. Y'all have a good Thursday. Thank y'all for joining me. And tomorrow is Free for All Friday. I'm going to do like a Q&A. Y'all can ask me anything as long as it's nice. Don't start no drama in my chat. I don't do drama. But yeah, Free for All Friday. I actually do have a little subject, my little mini subject model that I'm going to use tomorrow. But I hope to see y'all tomorrow for Free for All Friday. Also, we are celebrating that I've done this for a whole week. Woo! I might have a party hat on tomorrow in the blower. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, y'all have a great Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.